Goblin Town!
Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so... Is everybody here? I'm taking attendance. I'm taking roll.
Leaves. I think we're all here.
Gadol is here.
We have Gretel, a theory, Dagmar,
Hello.
okay, Janera. Where's Janera?
Hello.
Okay, there you are. Okay. All right. So last time we didn't do that much, but I'm gonna recap over some of the things that we did last time. So the right now, the party is still here in the ruins, exploring some of the rooms, moving around the lobby, as it was named. Still looking at some of the artifacts, and they were looking at some of. Let's see, where are they? Okay, so they were looking at some of the artifacts that they found in the room. Right. Okay. So they found this box. They also, let me see here. They also found some other artifacts here. You can see, let's see. Okay. Right. And so the party's trying to figure out what they want to do. They put their heads together and have come to the conclusions that these artifacts came from an ancient, evil civilization that was very much interested in the consumption of human flesh. And now they're trying to decide what are they gonna do. They locked, if I remember correctly, there we go. So there was a room across the entranceway that they locked. That was actually had several of the boxes in it. And now they're back to that other room that has some of the artifacts in it. Let's see. Yes. I remember Dagmar attempted to look for a mouse to see if they could, if Dagmar can get some help from a friendly mouse. And otherwise, just Gretel used the magical key to close the doors. And the artifacts are of a different. All the artifacts seem to be made from the same metal, but from a different metal as Dagmar's sword. Okay, that's mostly it. Okay. Is there anything I'm missing?
Um,
Okay. So I'm gonna assume that you're all in positions that you are currently in this on this map. But there are two theories. I don't know why there are two theories. Kage Bunshin
Yeah.
Jutsu.
it's a rogue thing. Don't worry about it.
I thought it was like a
I've
ninja
cloned
thing.
myself.
Yeah.
There's a wizard that cast Simulacrum at like 9th level, and then he just disappeared.
It's a doppelganger. Hey, I don't know how to
Oh
delete
God!
it.
Don't joke about
And
that.
doppelganger's a
That's
real
you
thing.
want.
That's a real monster.
No, that happened in my game last night, actually, so it was kind of
Nice.
disturbing. Yeah, I don't know how to delete it.
Okay, which one do you want me to delete it? I'll delete it for you.
The one on the left, off by herself.
Okay.
Thank you.
There we go. All right. So I'm gonna open up the floor to anyone. Is there anything you want to do right now?
Go into the room and touch all the boxes.
Well, in this room right here, there's only just one box.
The flower ring, everything in the room creeps me out. So I just want to cast Meteor Swarm. I don't have it. I just want to.
Set everything on fire, basically.
Yeah. Creeps me out. Mm.
Kind of looks like something you'd wear, though.
Mm-hmm.
The flower ring.
Yeah, you should maybe try to touch it, Gretel.
Maybe. What was that thing with the mouse you were talking about before, Dagmar?
Oh God.
Dagmar, if you'd like, you can do a survival check to see if you can find a mouse.
Okay. I will do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can I have a do-over?
In a little bit. Okay, so are you doing this from the top of the dinosaur?
Yeah, that's why it was messed up. So I'm climbing off of Bam Bam now.
Okay, so so Dagmar, in an attempt to find a mouse to use animal speak with it, or speak with animals with it, stands high on the shoulders of Bam Bam the dinosaur, sort of shields her eyes and looks around the room very carefully. Looking up at the ceiling, the walls, like, nope, I don't see any mouse holes, so I guess there are no mice here. Um, Good attempt, though. Good attempt. Good idea.
I'm really good with animals. I know where they are. They're all at.
It was not so much about whether there's a mouse or not. I was just wondering why you were looking for one, because I could always wild shape into a mouse if you need a mouse. I got one more wild shape left.
No, that won't be necessary. I don't.
Oh, because you were thinking about like dumping the mouse inside like one of the big tentacly vat thing.
Oh, that'd be a good idea, though.
You have a very unusual relationship with mouses. Mouses, mice. No, mice. Mice is the correct term. Yeah.
I don't think we want Gretel to fly into that bat.
I too would vote against that.
That could be bad.
I'm small enough that Dagmar could toss me, but I don't think that's a very good idea.
I'd like everybody to roll a perception check then. Thank you.
Wait, but what? No. Why?
Perception is to see if you all perceive this, what's about to happen,
Oh my
or what is
God.
happening.
Oh.
Apparently, I do not.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
You wanna do guidance on that, Gretel?
Oh no, this is something that's done somewhat involuntarily. Okay,
Oh,
Genera.
Genera?
Sorry, roll 20 is being slow.
Okay. Let's see. So Gretel rolled a 17 there. Da, 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 da.
Also, my passive perception is 21 because I took the observant feat.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so so now that everybody's rolled, you, I think for the most part, you don't hear much. You don't hear any mice. You do hear a little bit of the wind whistling. Um, and you hear maybe an odd sound. I don't know, like maybe metal or wood.
There's definitely some wood scratching in the other room.
In the room we were just in.
Yes. Which room and what does the scratching sound like? Oh, omnipotent DM.
Type.
Ah,
Secrets.
there's this. The scratching is coming from behind Dagmar and Bam Bam to the north. You know, the room where we first encountered the mimic with all the
Oh.
chests. Yeah, I can totally hear it up there. Gretel's going to actually sneak sort of through the doors, and he's going to sort of peek around the corner here to see if he sees anything.
I mean, from that vantage point, you don't really see anything yet, because I mean, you're kind of far, and it's still, most of the room is kind of around the corner.
Now, I'll slowly inch my way sort of like northwest until I start to see something. See if there's anything of note that's sort of like popping up.
Greta.
But I'm trying to keep quiet because I'll can I do a stealth check?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Guidance?
Yeah, sure, you can guidance yourself.
Am I being quiet?
Everybody who's rolling stealth can do stealth.
So 16.
Okay, that's pretty stealthy. There's not a lot on the floor here to go.
Theory like the night.
Oh my goodness.
Even we don't see a theory.
Yeah. A theory has never existed.
I know.
Bam Bam almost steps
Like-
on a theory. Doesn't realize she's
Theory
still there.
who?
I like to think Dagmar is just repeatedly getting knocked off of Bam Bam and then just climbs back on, off, on.
Is Dagmar stealthing or is she just sort of barreling
Oh,
into the room?
She's barreling. I mean, she's on Bam Bam. What can she do?
Good point.
Bam
Giant
Bam
feathered-
squeezing very heavily.
Giant feathered dinosaur is not exactly subtle. By the way, DM, how much longer in my 24 hours of my animal friendship spell?
You've only been friends for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours,
Oh,
4 hours tops.
Yep.
You haven't really explored that much. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I put the. Let me hold on a
Did
second.
he eat me?
No, I moved him forward. Give me a second. Okay, now you're on top. Okay, now you're on top.
We haven't fed him in a while, so.
Hungry.
There's where
Yeah.
that was
So-
the end of me.
Bam
You know what we
Bam
need to
Bam
do?
actually begins to sort of sniff around the boxes and kind of starts to nudge his nose against the boxes as if he's looking for something. Bam Bam is investigating. Several of the boxes have been broken open and their contents of coins have been spilled out, and you can hear as Bam Bam pushes his nose, his muzzle, against the boxes, you can hear the kind of heavy shift of coins in some of them. More coins spill out of some. Some of them just sort of rock around in it, and eventually there's a box that Bam Bam hits, and you can hear something sort of shift in it, but it's not metal. It doesn't seem to have coins in it, but it does sound rather heavy.
Huh.
Is it locked? I assume.
Yes, it seems locked.
I listened in on it. Do I hear anything moving inside?
Let's see. You kind of hear something. Okay. Well, here, let me do this. Why don't you do a perception check to see how much you actually hear?
All of us, or just a
No,
few?
just a
Ooh.
theory.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Du- 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 du. Do any of you do anything?
I want to know if it smells.
Um,
That's what I want to know. Investigation?
Yeah, go ahead. Investigation.
I see.
I slowly back away.
Okay. So, Dagmar,
Right.
you kind of like big, like flat palm on top of it, like bear hug the thing and kind of rub it, like you put your ear up against it, rubbing against the wood, and like, there's something, I don't know, against the box, but you're not quite sure.
And
Can I
I
do it?
whisper.
Sorry,
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
whispered. I whispered to the group. I hear something breathing
Can I
inside
do it?
that box.
Can
Yeah.
I do a perception check of my own?
Yes, you may, Gradall. Okay. All right.
Daenerys like, I don't even want to get close to that. This is not good. Get me out of here. Manning the exit.
Okay. Bam Bam. Bam Bam, you can see Bam Bam's eyes kind of get a little, something of a look of anticipation and excitement. Um, but you see Bam Bam basically slam his mouth into the box and like bite it, crush it, and it breaks open.
Contents are dead.
The box
Oh
sort of
no.
breaks open, and you can see Bam Bam sort of like put this nuzzle in there or whatever, and reaches in, and you see that there's something that Bam Bam pulls something out of it. It's some sort of living creature. It's yellow. It's scaly. It has horns and a tail.
Bam Bam, drop it.
And it
Bam Bam's
smells like wine.
hungry. Bam Bam is talking with his mouth full. Hungry. Okay.
Bam Bam, I will feed you. Drop it. Not food. Not food. Friend.
Are you gonna get it to put me down or not?
Wait, guys, I think it's
trying
another
here.
mimic.
He's a freaking dinosaur. Give me a minute. Bam Bam,
No, make it a little faster.
I said drop it.
Okay.
Can I do
All
like
right.
an animal handling check or like something? To
Okay,
get
here we
Bam
go.
Bam
So
to drop it?
Bam Bam is gonna make a wisdom save versus your animal handling. 9. Go ahead, just beat a 9.
All right. I'm gonna definitely guidance myself on this. Oh, no need. 19.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. All right. So Bam Bam rather sheepishly opens his mouth, and the creature that he has in his mouth slides out and toward the floor. Okay.
Awesome. I go up to and try to I reward Bam Bam with another small piece of meat and give him scritches behind his ears. Good job, you dropped it. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Where do you find all this meat for a druid? Got a lot of
I
it.
literally have like one piece and I cut off like tiny, tiny little bits. It's literally beef jerky that I bought like ages ago. I think it's actually moldy, but he doesn't care.
It was a shovel bomb. So what's this disgusting slimy looking mucus coated thing on the ground now?
Well, it's slimy
Limp
because
and
it's covered in
dead.
Bam Bam's spit.
Can we eat it?
Well, I mean, it was just talking a second ago, so you can ask it something.
Are you just
Guys,
gonna
I
stand there like a bunch of fools? You're gonna say something. You reined
Guys,
in your dinosaur. Now speak up.
Guys, I think we should. This is where the mimic was. I think this was like a mimic nest of some sort. This might be another mimic. I killed the last one shot. Should I get rid of this one?
I don't think mimics talk. They copy things, not people.
How long have you been a party? Has it been 2 days? You don't seem very well put together.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And I pull out of my back, I pull out a chrysanthemum,
Oh my
the
god.
coloration of which matches exactly his scale coloration, and says, "Hi, I'm Gradal. This is for you."
I'm gonna just slowly and suspiciously grab it, gently look it in my hand, and I'm going just thanks.
You're welcome.
Svarin Selperoth. Has anybody seen my loot?
Yeah, so I'm going to mention now that this is a Dragonborn who's essentially wearing nothing. I don't know if this Dragonborn wears underwear or not, but is basically not wearing any no armor, nothing of value.
So we can't rob him.
I'd love to see you try.
What were you doing in a box?
What were you doing outside of the box?
I'm gonna one up that with another question. What were you doing naked inside a box? Or
Well,
nearly
somebody
so,
took my stuff.
Oh. Who?
I don't know, but I'd like to find it.
Oh. Well, describe
you
them. I'm wondering if they're the same douche nozzles that we ran into.
I don't know. My face was covered.
Oh.
By the
I
box?
fought valiantly with my sword and my daggers, but there were too many of them.
How many
Insight
of them?
check.
Go ahead, roll it. All right. Clearly he's lying. He's a liar. Liar. Kill him now. No, I'm kidding. Oh.
So I rolled animal handling, but hear me out.
Wait, what
What?
animal are you
Hear
handling?
me out. Hear me out.
What?
You say he's a dragonborn,
Yes.
right?
No,
And dragons are animals, right?
they're not.
So I'm thinking if I roll animal handling, and if I get say like an 18 or something, then I can will this animal to basically do our bidding for us. Right?
You can rub his belly to make him like you,
Nope.
but you
No.
cannot like make him your slave.
I'm fairly certain that would be a persuasion check. You interesting half orc.
I don't like
Hmm.
the fancy pants way he talks to me.
It's okay. She didn't like me at first neither. Now we're best friends. And I'm just gonna start looking around, seeing if I can find. Like, I don't care about the coins or any of that stuff. I'm just trying to find his clothes and daggers and stuff. Try to help the guy out.
Close this man immediately. Huh.
Yeah, I'll take my cape off, and I'll hand it to him.
Oh.
Say, hi, Zavaran. I'm
Was
Ethereal.
it-
Why don't you put this on?
I'll just drape it over my shoulder for now.
That's fine.
I'm gonna turn over my shoulder and I'm gonna call out to Janera and say, "Hey, Janera, weren't you in here before all the rest of us? Did you see this guy?" I see.
When exactly are you speaking of?
When you were running after Moo and her crew earlier before, did you see this guy when you were in this room?
No. I don't think I entered this room before anyone else, did I? Or was this the day that I was MIA?
Actually, I think Ethereal's the one that came in here first. Ethereal's the one that snuck in here first and noticed the people
shit.
like screaming as they ran down the stairs.
Damn it, you guys are just both sneaky sneaks.
Can I even roll perception to find my own things?
No, you can't roll anything. You're not a thing. You're
Do you want me to drop in the map, by the way? Or no?
You're not a thing.
I'll go ahead and open the chest that I think his stuff is in. I'm going to do a quick perception check first to see if it sounds like there's anything inside.
Yeah, Gretel, you find a particular chest that seems to be Yeah, you find a particular chest that seems to have things in it that are not coins. You can hear kind of something sort of sliding or shuffling around. But the chest is locked.
But no breathing or anything.
No.
Oh,
I got it.
thank you
So-
very, very much.
Which box is it?
Ooh, this one. And I'm pointing to the one that I'm literally like groping in front of me to try to figure out what's inside.
All right. I will.
So,
Oh, it's sleight of hand. Do you do sleight of hand or do you do thieves' tools?
Oh, I should do thieves' tools. Yep.
yeah, technically Steve's tools.
That's better. Thank you.
Oh, you willikers. Okay. So the locks on these chests, they're pretty old, but they're surprisingly not rusted. They feel very beat up, but they're kind of greased. Relatively well maintained for being a chest left in a room inside of a ruin inside of a mountain that's off the beaten path. And there's a click as it opens up, and then the door creaks open a crack.
All right, I peek in. What do I see?
You see some white clothing, like an overcoat. Maybe like an orange with orange lining. You see, let's see. I think, you see some clothing. Let's see
Alright.
here.
I open the lid all the way and start pulling stuff out.
Yeah, you see a sword, a lute, some leather armor, a dagger, a backpack, bedroll, candles, water skin. Looks like an entertainer's pack.
I'll start
anything
handing
we can
I'll-
use? Anything that we could sell?
I'll start handing stuff over to Zvarn and basically like try to sidestep Dagmar to keep her from taking his shit.
Wait, we gotta sell it back to him. What are you doing?
Dagmar,
It's a finder's fee.
there are literally coins all around you that you seem to have zero interest in. And
Yeah, but
you
that's
want
cursed. That's
to
all
try to charge
cursed.
this guy for his silk shirt? Come on. Like seriously, look at your feet. There are coins like freaking everywhere.
I can't see anything but these feathers. So, Mr. Mustard colored dragon thing.
Yes.
I just want to know, what were you doing in here? Why did you come into these ruins?
That's an excellent question. And then I'm just gonna stare at them.
Guys, I think he's a looter. Should we take
No-
him in?
Another insight check, if that's okay, DM.
I go for it.
He's probably a bad looter because there aren't any artifacts with him.
Well,
Not out-looted.
I technically, he does have a loot with him. So technically, he is a looter,
I am
just of a
indeed.
different kind.
True.
This guy evades our questions like moo. I don't like that.
Okay, so
Can I at least have my clothes back?
I already handed them to you.
Okay, cool.
Or at least, let me put it this way, I tried to sidestep Dagmar to hand them to you.
Did that succeed, DM?
Do I need to roll for that?
let's. I'm just gonna assume that he
Mhm.
succeeds. Okay, you proceed to hand Svarn all of presumably his things. You have now repatriated these items.
Here it is.
Oh my god!
Hashtag RKO Gaming.
Mind you, without the proper paperwork and recording the chain of custody, so we're gonna assume that it's the proper party.
We did not
Appropriate
take we did not take photos of it in the box or map it. That's true.
I placed the inadvertent discovery back within the C2 section of the APE. Just use all of it. Why not? Just get it all in there.
So,
Oh my god.
how exactly do you pronounce your name again? Is it Zvarn? Zvarn? Zavarn?
Zavarin.
Zvarn. Thank you very much.
Yarn.
What?
Oh, who am I
Would
to
any
judge?
of
My
you
name's Gradol
beyond-
Hudrek. Come on.
Would any of the people here beyond Gradal like to introduce themselves?
Well, I'll take my cape back now.
Yeah,
I'm in theory. Thanks. I'm in theory. Well, you could probably tell I'm a half elf, and I'm just kind of a traveler. I'm a rogue. But I met up with this nice group of people, and we've been trying to do some good things.
Interesting.
And you've met Bam Bam.
What's the druid doing?
Dagmar reaches down and taps Bam Bam. And if you cross us, he'll eat you. She says gruffly.
And you were the one saying I was lying.
I'm not lying though.
I
He's
mean,
really not. This thing is pretty hungry.
And you
Yeah.
haven't fed it yet.
Well, there's not a lot of meat here in the dungeon. Once we're done, I will try to find an appropriate butcher or fishmonger or something to be able to feed this thing. But for now, we're sort of stuck.
Feed the butcher. Just give the butcher over to Bam Bam. Janera is dancing in the back. Whoa. Whoa. Where where you going there? Janera?
Gonna leave?
We gotta go after our friend. Goodbye, Mustard. Or come on if you want to.
Where
You wouldn't
are
want to be
any
left
of you
alone
going?
with Bam Bam.
I still haven't met two of you.
You don't need to
well,
meet me.
well, Janira, what's up? What you doing? I'm literally standing right next to you, Janira. What's up?
What is what is happening?
Janera.
Daenerys, you there?
She's freaking out. She saw something.
Bri,
I
you
heard
there? Everything
something.
okay?
I'm kind of guessing is maybe one of her kids has got a hold of it and it's moving it for her. I don't know.
Oh dear.
Do we have any response at all?
Oh my god. That's awesome.
And then a
We
new
followed-
twist in Goblin Town.
They followed the map and everything, and Daryl's just opening up the way.
What's happening?
It's like we've been raided by gremlins.
Or
This has
raided
never
by
happened
I don't know
goblins.
what's
before.
going on.
I'm going
This
to
is
just look at Bam Bam.
Daenerys typing.
Oh,
utter
Janira's
confusion and roll my
typing.
eyes at the entire party.
Janira's typing on roll 20.
Audio issues.
Audio issues.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What
Fuck.
what about the movement of the icon, Bri? Is anything important or?
Typing.
Okay, so it was you. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Audio issues happen.
Well, this is interesting though because Janera has a pretty good sense about these kinds of things.
She does.
And then Janera knew not to enter the room that she's currently headed towards, for instance, because she knew that bad things were going on in that room. And now she doesn't want to be seen next to you.
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh.
Mustard Colored Dragon.
Oh,
So-
Gretel, can you give me what was the name of that spell you used on the door? I can't remember.
Mold Earth.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I think that's from a different book. Okay, never mind. Give me. I'm gonna check out something.
That's okay. Zavarn, just a heads up. You were in Bam Bam's mouth not too long ago. I wouldn't stand quite so close to him.
No,
Get here in the middle where we can all
gonna-
see you in the
stand-
corner.
I'll go stand in the corner.
Oh, it's okay. I'll
Yeah, right there.
just
That's
be.
nice.
I'll just come over to Bam Bam and keep giving him scritches and says, "Don't worry, buddy. We're gonna get out of here soon and get you some food."
Hands up. Get your back against the wall. We're interrogating you.
I reach my hands for. You know everything that's on my person.
I don't know, you could breathe fire on us or something.
Fire isn't my breath of choice, if you will.
So I'm gonna assume that Janera doesn't get caught in this. But I'm just gonna remind you that actually the spell actually has a limit, and the door reseals itself after a while. It only lasts an hour.
That's okay. It's a cantrip, so I can
Yeah.
always open it up.
And I can't remember. Did you lock the other door? I know you locked one, but I don't know if you locked the other.
I thought I locked both.
Towards the entryway?
Yeah.
Oh, the room across the hall with the teeth? We closed that.
Oh no, but this one that you're standing in front
This
of.
one-
Remember?
This one we closed too. Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't want anybody getting in there. These are what we think are cursed objects. By the way, that's kind of why we're here, Zvarn. You know, we're actually from Clarg. You ever been to Clarg?
Possibly in passing.
Nice city. The mayor has the cutest pig.
Don't mention that pig in my presence.
Well, I will just say, Zvarn, while Dagmar may be very wary of you now, you find some way to get her that pig and she will be your friend for life.
That's true.
That is true.
I'm stealing the mayor's pig now.
Oh, I didn't say
Yeah.
anything about stealing. I just said getting. Getting is different than stealing.
I need ownership,
Nomenclature is important.
full
The
custody.
druid hasn't befriended the pig.
No, not yet, but Dagmar will. I don't think you had your speak with animals feat
No.
before when we were meeting with Daintyfoot. So next time we run into Daintyfoot, you can talk to her. Try to get her over to your side.
Oh my god. Yeah, I plan on it.
Oh, totally. So anyway, we're up here because we ran into there were a bunch of different citizens of Clarg that ended up inadvertently with cursed artifacts that really whammied them up. We had actually two of our goblin friends died, and another one was buried in a tomb with a whole bunch of like weird floaty blue meanie things. It was not fun. So we're up here trying to figure out where all these cursed artifacts came from and see if we can keep them from migrating down to Clarg somehow. So that's our dealio.
Every adventure you take this bizarre.
Well, that's our truth. No secrets to hide from us. What's your deal?
My truth is whatever I feel it to be.
I hate him. Let's
Do
punch
not
him.
live your life in this manner.
Oh my god.
Gretel's eyes just sort of get wide and like the
Insightful.
like somebody who smoked a little bit too much weed just goes, that's so deep.
He likes that.
I love that I could have. I saw your camera for that.
I just look at Janera, roll my eyes.
I don't know how to handle this.
Are you ever gonna introduce yourself?
For the pig, maybe.
Or the pig? We're bartering for a pig now.
You know what? You know what? Actually, Dagmar's gonna outstretch her hand to Mustard, and I'm gonna wait for him to take my hand. I'm doing a handshake. Take my hand. Take it. Take it.
Hand
Take my
taken.
hand. Okay,
Take it.
hand taken. Okay, I'm gonna bring him in nice and close, and I'm gonna whisper in his ear. Okay, the name is Dagmar, and if you cross me or my friends, I will murder you where you stand. I will split you in half. One half will fall to the left, and then the other half will probably fall to the right if I do it in the right way. But you cross my friends, you are dead.
I'm gonna turn very gently, turn my head to Gretel and say, "Is this one always so hangry, just like the dinosaur?"
Hungry.
I think getting people some food might be a good idea at the moment. Aside from the beef jerky I've been feeding Bam Bam, it's been mostly vegetarian cuisine for me. So we'll have to find out a way to maybe step out onto the plateau and just. Speaking of which, Zavarn, do you even know where you are right now?
I can't say that I do.
Oh, you're on a big mesa in the middle of a wilderness, in the middle of a cursed dungeon that was created by an ancient civilization that used to eat people and worship these evil eldritch gods which want to devour us all. So now you're all caught up.
Dwarves.
Do we have that right, DM?
Yeah, more or less.
DM, that note didn't help me.
Neither did that roll.
I just want to be clear to Dagmar here that Zavarin stands at 6'6", and I don't think that Dagmar's over 6 feet. So
I have intel from the mighty god of this game that I think, guys, I think I think Zvarin is secretly a goblin.
Like maybe 2 or 3 on each other's shoulders.
Mini goblin.
What?
Thanks, Dagmar.
Just
It's
a
really
really
helpful.
tall yellow one. It's my insight.
What are you rambling on about?
While they're talking, I'm going to sort of sneak on over to the door and see what Janera might be looking at.
If you want, you can reopen it.
Oh, I'll cast Mold Earth and reopen it.
Yeah. Yeah, going into that room is a really good idea.
I just want to see what's up. Make sure we close that door. I know we did, but just double checking.
Okay.
I'm
Mustard,
following
come in
you.
here for a second. There's some really cool things. I think you should try to look at them.
If you insist. Are you leaving your dinosaur here?
He won't fit
He
through the
can't
door
fit
anyway.
through. He can't fit.
What a bummer.
See that box? There's some really cool things in there. If you go in first, we'll let you have them.
Oh, open it.
That's not part of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch to the actual picture with the box. Okay, so let's look at the box. Alright, so this is the box that Dagmar is referring to, Zvarin. And then there's a little the drawing on the right is just for scale. It's fairly large. It's like top to bottom, like 3.5 feet tall. So total maybe 4.5 feet tall.
All right. Well, go ahead, Dagmat. Open the box.
What did you call me?
I believe you heard me.
Eject from this game.
Jack, good luck.
If I open the box, do you promise to touch the inside?
Strange question.
That's the deal. That's the deal.
I'm gonna die. Uh, um. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Okay. Sure, I'll reach for whatever's inside.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna open up the lid?
Dagmar's gonna open the lid.
And then he's gonna go sniffing around in there. That's the promise.
Okay.
So
Okay, so Dagmar, I'm assuming. Okay, so Dagmar, please describe how you open up the box.
I'm gonna do it exactly like how I did it last time. I'm gonna take my sword and I'm gonna kind of wiggle it into the top of the lid there. That kind of like handle looking thing. I'm gonna wiggle it onto that, and then I'm gonna, lift it as it's kind of like levitating up and then over with the sword, just kind of like leading it in the direction I want it to go. And then I'm gonna
Do you keep it on your sword, or do you take your sword out of it, or do you put it on the ground? What do you do?
I take the sword out of it once because I know it levitates, so I take it out like when it's next to the box, like away from the contents,
Okay.
and then I just kind of leave it where it is and take my sword back. And then I look over at Mustard and I wait for him to do something.
Okay, so just in case that so that everyone understands what's happening. So there is this lid here.
Mhm.
Oops. So Dagmar takes the lid and lifts it off with her sword. And when she removes the sword, the lid doesn't drop. It just sits there, floating in midair. It doesn't actually fall down. It doesn't move.
Am I close enough to see?
Yeah,
I was standing.
you can look inside and you'll notice that around the rim of the box, there are dark, kind of brown and black, slightly reddish stains. Eh, you see inside at the bottom, there's this really dark, goopy substance, and it smells very rancid.
Interesting. You want me to touch that?
Yeah. Or drink it.
For what purpose?
I want to see what it does.
Doesn't look quite tasty.
You never know. You never know until you try.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and use Mage Hand to try and
Oh,
see if
come
I
on
can
with
touch
that.
it. You just said reach for it. You never said how.
So, I kind of I'm a little bit particular about. Well, I'm not. I'm trying to be more particular. So go. So remember, Svarin, that when you cast a spell, you have either a verbal component, a somatic component, or a material component. With Mage Hand specifically, let me look it up.
I'm trying to look at it right now too because I haven't.
So Mage Hand specifically has a verbal and a somatic component. So you gotta wave your hands or do something and then say some magic words. They're up to you. You just have to describe what you're doing exactly to get the spell to happen.
I can kind of rotate my wrist and say, reach forward for the goop, and then I
Okay.
want the hand to kind of like, like feel around on it to see if anything happens.
Okay, yeah. So, um,
Oh, wait. Hold on 1 second, guys. I think Janera's audio is working. Bry?
I'm hearing a gurgling noise. Is
Yeah.
that what's in the chest too?
Oh no.
Good sound effect.
I thought it was for a moment though. I'm not gonna lie.
I am interested in getting making some sounds for this game to make it extra spooky. So anyways, Svarin waves his hands, sort of rotates his wrist, waves about his hand, and says, "Go touch the goop." A spectral hand appears floating in midair, and then dives down into the box, and then begins to swirl around the goop. And it's it does seem viscous, but not
Right.
quite like it's not like honey. Um, it's it's just a little bit sticky. So things like honey or glue, like when you sort of lift your you stick your finger in and you lift it out and it does that sort of trail. It doesn't quite do that. It's much more runnier than that. It just kind of like plops. It's thick, so it kind of plops out of the mage hand. Um,
Disgusting.
Can I do
All
some
for
kind of
you,
like?
buddy.
Can I do some sort of like medicine check or something to see if this is kind of some kind of biological material?
go for it.
Guidance.
Of course.
Ooh, dirty 20. Hmm.
A dragonborn. What did you say your profession was again?
Um.
I'd like to say it's a lifestyle, but I'm a bard.
kind of bard. You hear a lot of stories and songs of history in these parts.
Not especially these parts, but I hear around.
Ah, okay. Have you heard of anything like this before? Because we've been pretty stumped by this.
You want me to throw a history check or something?
I think this looks like it's kind of like blood and. Oh, okay, I don't want to be too graphic here,
Oh god.
but this is
Sweet little druid.
this is the juices from a rotten body.
The juices.
Yes.
Archaeology
Spectacular.
term.
Spectacular. Very technical.
Yeah, I looking at it close, I think DM, do I smell anything? Like, do I smell adipocere?
Okay, I'm gonna define say it again.
Adipocere.
Adipocere. Okay,
This
I'm
is
gonna say adipocere.
Gretel would not know what adipocere is.
I don't know what that is either.
but I do. It's the waxy substance that's left behind when the fats of a body rot away.
I never knew the term for it. Nerm. Name term.
If you've ever watched the TV show Bones.
Ah.
Think of the Latin root for fat. Adip.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sorry, I went straight to Doctor Who.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Jake knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think you took forensics with Dr. Ingmanson, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, you know what adipocere is.
We're doing some throwbacks.
Oh yeah.
I also watch a lot of TV for crime shows. Yeah.
This is the rotten remains of a dead body.
Now, why would the rotten remains of a
Why
dead
you know?
body be in a tentacled, floating topped jar?
That is the question, Mr.
Well,
Bard.
Well, I can honestly say that I don't know the answer to that question, but I can also say that I don't want to know the answer to that question because it's nothing good.
I, I'm gonna pause because the description I did for this video off the Restreams website is, does the ancient treasure offer glory or doom? And then wait, no, what was it? I know I did another discussion. Let me see if I have it. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Uh, Science is the search for truth. How far will adventurers go to find the truth about the ruins and the artifacts therein?
Now, Dvarn, while this thing is pretty ghastly, there are some things that look a little bit nicer, and I sort of bring him over and show him like the flower ring and the
Wait,
mirror, which isn't quite as nice, but
How do you bring them? Did you just pick them up?
no, I just go over to them and sort of point them out.
Oh, okay.
Quite a strange place you found yourselves in.
We have.
And
think-
yourself.
And yeah,
Evidently, you are correct.
Well, I think basically what we want to do, but we have no idea how to do it, is A, we want to figure out, are these things cursed? With the box, I'd say it's definitely a yes, sir, okie doke. And then how can we keep these things and other things like them from ending up in the hands of innocent people?
Have you thought of closing in the entire cabin?
I could try. There are very limits to what my mold earth spell could do. If I was
True.
a far more powerful and learned druid like the people who originally trained me, then perhaps. But there are very limits. I mean, mold earth is like a cheap little cantrip. There's only so much I can do with it.
What's up, DM?
Hey, DM.
Levels up.
oh my. DM, has anyone ever done perception on the smaller items?
You probably mean like investigation. So
Yeah, has anyone done anything on the smaller items yet? Could
No,
I maybe
I
try?
for them. Okay, so if I remember correctly, the last time you all like stood there, looked at them, didn't touch them, and like didn't even like touch them with your toes. But you did try to look at their context, their provenience, to see if that could give you any clues as to
There
their
it is.
purpose, and I said no.
Hey. Okay. Could I try rolling investigation on this?
Yes, you may. On all of them, or just one of them?
Kind of on all of them to see if anything catches my eye or if I
Yes.
notice anything. Okay.
Yes, indeed you do. Go for it.
Okay.
Can
Does-
I do? So sorry, Dagmar. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say, can my best friend roll or do a guidance on that?
I can definitely help you out with the guidance, and I'd like to do my own investigation check of just the flower ring. So I'll
Okay,
do
so Dagmar gets
yeah.
a 14.
Thank you
and
so
guidance. I'll do guidance for myself as well. Man, I am rolling like a boss tonight. I have no idea why.
It's all cranked all
Okay,
the way
so
up for you.
Dagmar. Okay, so just to make things clear, I'm gonna write numbers on them, so
Okay.
that we can properly identify these artifacts.
You're gonna do like an art period 001 002 cat number 003.
No, I think let me just do numbers.
Session though.
All right. We do 1, 2. Wait, let me do it up at the top. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Remember, everybody, label your bags. Do not wait till you get back to the lab.
Right.
Label them at the
Mm-mm.
field, in the field.
Do all your paperwork on site, please.
Excellent point. I want to do investigation on number 1.
Okay. So everybody roll investigations.
Jeez.
Again or
If you haven't, go ahead and do it again. Or so if you've already done it, don't worry about it. I think actually who's the only person who hasn't done it? It's Varen. If you'd like to go ahead, Genera. If you can't, if you'd like to, you can.
Yeah, let me just pull it. Oh, it's rolling much faster than it usually does, but not as well as it usually does.
Is there a particular one you're looking at, Svarn?
Sorry, the ring thing with the horns in the sun. The number, what is this?
2.
2?
2?
That's the mirror.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the mirror.
The
Wait.
looking glass?
I think so, isn't it?
No,
Or
3 is a mirror.
3 is the mirror.
3
Yeah.
is the
Oh,
mirror.
okay, well,
Yeah.
It's 2. It's 2. The one I was looking at was
Yeah,
2.
2 is a ring and it looks straight through. Okay, I'm typing up things. Let me see.
I'm typing a thing. Everybody gets nervous. What color do you guys already have claimed? Blue? Dark blue? Okay.
What was that? Your audio is very soft.
I was talking to myself.
Oh God. You need
I
to
was
have
talking to
that like
myself.
close to your mouth.
Yeah, no, I was talking to myself. I was going ahead and seeing if I could change the color of my ping.
I'm so the mirror. The number 3 is a mirror. I'm gonna ask Dagmar. Do you, in your investigation of all of these objects, do you flip the mirror over? Like, do you look at both sides?
No, I'm just observing from directly above. I'm not disturbing the artifacts or removing them from their place in C2 at this moment.
Okay.
Yes, I did just say that. Don't
Yeah,
laugh
I
at
heard
me,
you.
Jake.
I heard you. I'm gonna just kind of move it around in my hands, and then I'm gonna look right at it, rotating it a little bit.
Okay, so on the
And-
floor, are you actually picking it up?
I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Bold. We're gonna be bold today.
I like it. Good plan.
Your death is imminent.
Okay, watch it.
Oh, that
As I'm
was
kind of
creepy.
like roll, like like
That went
slightly
full,
like
full of the grudge, Anna.
tilting it and
My
moving
God.
it and inspecting it. There's just hold on.
These strangers will have to amputate your hand.
I'm going to like very quickly pull my hand away and like lean backwards and just stare at it on the ground as I dropped it.
It's too late.
You know,
7
there are bizarre
days.
things. Have you ever picked these things up?
I'm trying to see what's going on first. I might pick one up. I might.
The one looks like a necklace.
Okay.
first
Careful
one?
if you look through
Number
this one.
one.
Hmm.
Number one, yeah, it looks like a pendant.
Yeah, I kind of want to wear it.
So I actually hear something coming from the number one. I hear like faint voices coming from it.
Ugh.
It's faint, but it's there.
Ooh.
Do you recognize
can-
the language?
Uh, do I DM? Do I recognize the language?
No, sorry.
It's there's several voices and it's several different languages as well. It's very muffled and hard to understand, but they somehow sound kind of familiar to me.
Are there any
Several-
languages you recognize?
Uh Yeah.
Okay, well, Dagmar's over here
Common.
having an existential crisis. I'm going to speak up again.
Elfish.
I'm going to
and
speak up
Dwarven,
again. Again, while
and-
Dagmar's crying, looking at
and
the
Orcish.
thing on the.
It's a couple.
Careful if you keep your eye near the second one.
Hmm.
If you look through, you may see something interesting.
Good interesting or bad interesting?
That depends on your perspective on life.
Hmm.
There seem to be figures in the room, some strange lighting, strange essence.
It's weird that you say that there's. Would you count them as ghostly figures?
Indeed, I would.
That's weird because there are these weird kind of like ghostly, these really faint like ghostly tendrils emanating from the ring. I think between finding DM, what was the name of the goblin character that we found in the graveyard? She took over at the
Ami?
Ami.
No,
Yeah.
well, okay. So yeah, Ami is the little leader, the small leader that you rescued from the necropolis, through the strange hole on the side of Mount Heldar.
Rapidly flips through notes.
Gotcha. Well, because I'm wondering, like, she was found in a graveyard with this cursed object. There were the blue meanies, which we think are like undead objects. And then there's the possibility of ghosts being here, with which the the bodily jelly that's inside these things. It really wouldn't surprise me if there were ghosts here. Oh my God, Daryl, did you turn this into a phasmophobia thing?
Oh God, we did this to ourselves.
Also, is that Bryback?
Okay.
Muted right now.
I'm gonna try doing. I'm gonna be a little bit more bold. Like Zvarn being bold made Gretel a little bit bold. I'm gonna try doing with the flower ring what Zvarn did with the hooked ring. I'm gonna pick up the flower ring and try to look through it,
Oh, but not wear it.
but not wear it.
Okay.
Not gonna put it on.
Clack, 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 click, clack, clack.
Also, I would have to say that I think
all of the voices that I'm hearing coming out of the shell pendant, it almost sounds like kind of like Goblin Town City Center to me. Or Clark or something like the market or something. It sounds like it's emanating from a city center.
You know,
Hmm.
most people hear the ocean when they hold a shell to their ear.
Well, I wonder. There are like there are these devices that I've heard of where you pick one up and you can hear what's coming through the other device no matter where the device is. Like there are these magical devices.
Hmm.
Hmm. I think they're made by a series of wizards up north, and there's a city up there called Motorola.
Not the city of Bell.
Either are clever. Let's be real.
So you think there's another part to this that's maybe just sitting in a black marketplace in a city somewhere?
It's
Yeah,
probably looted.
that makes total sense.
You
So
mean
I,
like
I
a
think I think these items probably retain the same magical properties that they had in life, but then they took on a curse in addition to them. Curse having to do with unlife. If the ghostly presence. I mean, there's the ghostly tendrils coming out of this ring, and then there's the ghostly tendrils coming off of that ring, or the ghosts that Zavarin saw through that ring. This is some ghosty stuff.
perhaps enchanted items?
Hmm.
Have any of us seen or observed anything about the mirror?
I'm gonna quickly see if I've ever seen something like this before.
So I'm gonna assume that the mirror is reflective side down, so that the
Yeah.
funny sort of star, the star eye, whatever on top is painted is pointed upward. That's what I'm gonna assume. Um.
10 DM.
mm,
And then we don't notice anything particular about the back side of the mirror, other than it kind of looks like a creepy eyeball to me. Right.
Spooky.
I'll do a history check too. Oh man,
Just to have you do all the rolls today.
I
Okay,
don't think
someone's
I've
on a
rolled
lucky streak. Want to
anything.
go hit up the casino?
I
Yeah.
haven't rolled anything under a 10. Like I don't think I've rolled anything like under a 13 all game.
Okay.
Druid, would you like to hit up a tavern later and play somebody out of their coin?
So since everyone is, or most people are rolling an okay history, I'm just gonna give you a review of what I described before, which is that um. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's go up. So,
Da-na-na-na.
so Clark is down at the bottom, okay, or bottom left. So it's the southwest corner, Clark. Um, so um, six is known as the Wastes. It's mostly sparsely populated with villages, goblin villages. This is also where Kulog, you've heard of him raiding, and this is also the site of stories of an ancient civilization, and it had these magical artifacts, and so people go toward this area to find magical artifacts, and they are rumored to be magical, but also have some kind of curse associated with it. I think the example that I gave when I was first describing this was they might allow you to fly, but then they'll make you smell terrible. Um, so they're really kind of odd. Um, the If you remember in Oak Ridge, there was the artifact market or the acorn market. I gotta call it the acorn market now, right? Because these things just fall from trees. Um, the and people are known to sell some sort of magical artifacts, and they're not. People know just generally that it's a little bit of a gamble buying them because you're not. They're probably magical, and probably magical in the sense that they will accomplish the thing that they're said to accomplish, but you don't know what extra little surprises may be attached to it.
Good night, Bug.
Was anyone else investigating anything else that was here, or what was the fourth item?
Well, it's the mirror, but we haven't turned it over to look at it yet.
I know. I
I'm-
wanted to. I was thinking of listening to that necklace because I didn't really. So I'm gonna pick it up.
And I'm gonna
And-
pick up the mirror.
A theory. Do you put it to your ear?
Bad influence.
Yeah, I put it to my ear because it looks like it's a shell. Maybe I'll hear the ocean this time.
That's the goal.
Right.
You know, I've been kind of sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dagmar. Um, how do you handle the mirror?
I'm going to pick it up with my fingies.
And do you turn it around like you like twirl it in your fingers and stuff?
I'm gonna just claw arm it, just pick it up, and then I'm going to scoop it around and then look on the mirror side of it. Oh my god, it's hideous.
Dagmar, don't say that about yourself. You are lovely.
Druid beat me to it.
Oh my god.
Hold up,
Go-
hold up, hold up!
God.
I got something for you.
Daryl, you better not send me a picture reference.
Oh, I am. I'm sending it to you.
Daryl! Oh my god!
Now I gotta see this.
All right.
What's
Holding.
the last horror thing that you watched, Daryl, right now? What was the last thing that you've seen?
I actually
This is-
stopped watching TV and movies and video games. Actually,
Really? This wasn't
probably the last
inspired
video
by
game
something?
was watching Ellie play video games. That's it.
Oh my fucking.
We said he was a god. We never said he was a nice one.
I'm gonna crouch down because Grada was the last person to say something rather nice to me. I'm gonna crouch down and I'm gonna hold the mirror out in front of me and then try to see if I can get Grada on my other side. And then I'm gonna whisper, "Do you see that? Do you see what's behind me?"
DM, do I see what's behind her?
Okay.
He's waiting for a picture incoming.
I know. I can't wait for the picture.
No, I don't. This is like a taste of what your game is gonna be like in
Oh,
October,
I
Mike.
can't wait to run that game in October. That's gonna be so much fun.
Don't do it like this. Or worse.
I'm so excited to see what.
Oh
what's
man, I
going
gotta
on
see
here.
the close up of this.
What? What?
Oh,
What is
this
happening right now?
Awesome. Okay. Oh, Daryl, you beat me. You
A
beat me
Siri,
to
come
some
here,
of
look
this.
at this.
So,
Come look at this. Come look behind Gradle.
Oh god.
so this is what I'm thinking. I think my supposition was right. I think we've got ghosts here, but I don't think that these are ghosts. I thought that originally that they were the ghosts or the curses left behind by this civilization, but no, I think this is the people who were killed by them.
Oh my god.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a ghostly figure with a broken neck, like literally, like
Absolutely broken.
literally like the bent neck lady from Haunting of Hill House, bent to the
Exactly.
side with
Exactly.
scale armor. Which, by the way, Daryl, I am a little pissed that you beat me to that because that's something I was going to use in my Haunted
Yeah.
October. I was
Okay,
going to use
hold
the
on.
bent neck lady.
Okay, so
That's okay. I'll figure something out.
I'm assuming that everybody's gonna take turns looking at the thing, so I'll put it on the. I'll put it on the stream now. Give me a second.
All right, but I'm gonna also be a small pest. I'm gonna pick up the ring and look at it through the ring.
Mm. Number 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna do anything different, but we're gonna find out.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me.
He's like, God, come on, really?
All right.
Can't stop staring at it. The
Yeah.
neck is just so.
And this is just floating in the background.
God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Okay. So let me do this with
I'm not a fan of this.
Pretty sweet drawing, though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Daryl, forget spoilers. I should have had you do the drawings for my haunted house thing in October.
I love the hair and the face and like the shine on the armor.
Oh, it's awesome. All I'm saying is don't be surprised in October if Bent Neck Lady makes a reappearance. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Cameo.
All
Gotta
right,
get the
there.
name
I see
right.
you. I see you. All right.
I think what's happened here is I think that I don't think that these are the people who were the ancient civilization. I think these are the people who the ancient civilization killed. And I
Yeah.
think the curse is I think they trapped their spirits inside these objects.
But the
Druid.
objects, not the boxes.
Yeah. I think they
Druid.
used the boxes to kill them. Yeah. Yes, Savarn.
Take a turn and look your eye through this hole here, and I pass the ring. Like
Okie
magnifying glass.
dokie. I do
Um,
exactly what
Sure.
Zavarn did.
I'm gonna adjust the Gradle's theory here. Perhaps the rocks recorded the psychic energy of such a violent event.
The
I'm just
rocks
trying to
or the rocks or the metal.
yeah. I'm just trying to irritate Sarah later with my stone tape theory.
Could I try to do something a little tricky?
Okay, so I want to describe for people what's happening here.
No.
Ooh.
So
Did you see it too?
Yeah, I see it too.
Wonderful.
for artifact number 2,
I see dead people.
it's about the size of a magnifying glass, and so you see Zvarin and Gradal holding it and kind of looking around the room, and you can see them kind of like shake and shudder, like surprise as they sort of look around the room, and you can tell that they see something through the ring. They seem to be seeing something like in the room.
There are invisible ghosts all around us. I can't tell whether they're the victims of this past civilization or the perpetrators, but they're here.
Oh my god. Wait, who said that?
Alexa, set my lights to 100% brightness.
Who said that? I didn't see who said that. You guys. Am I still holding the mirror?
If you're still holding the mirror, you can be. It's up to you.
Okay. Can I continuously hold the mirror and then sort of kind of keep my eye on the bet neck lady? Let's go with. And then I'm kind of slowly backing my steps over to where the box is. And I'm just kind of gauging her expression as I get closer and closer to the box.
Okay.
Can I do that?
So I'm gonna break the method acting here a little bit just to make it easier on me, and also so that that the audience actually knows what's going on. Okay. So Dagmar, um, you remember that you can only see this figure as a reflection in the mirror. So, there's a little bit of negotiation you have to do, kind of like walk backwards or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
sort of doing things. As far as you can tell, looking at the reflection, uh, that figure with the bent neck, um, her expression doesn't change. She just has this sort of kind of strange mixture between um, uh, terror and um, and calm, I guess. Like she's resigned. It's to whatever's happened, um, but she doesn't seem to notice you.
Okay.
We need
However,
to free. Sorry, Tia.
let me just one more thing. So for Gradon Svarin, as you're looking around the room, looking at the ghosts through the little ring that you have in your hand, you start to notice that some of the figures actually start to look at you.
Oh no.
It's very Lord of the Ringsy.
Did anybody investigate 3 yet? Or no, what's the thing between? What's that? Is that
That's
the
the
back
mirror.
there?
That's the mirror that
Never
Dagmar
mind, never
has.
mind, never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
That's the mirror.
Yeah, so I have number 1, and I should describe
The
what's going on
voices.
with that.
Yeah, go
so,
ahead.
so number 1, I pick it up and I put it to my ear, and I freak out, and I step back, and I'm like, I'm fine. My name is Aetheri. How are you?
Ooh. Ooh.
I think these people are
Oh,
trapped here. We need to set these people free and let them move on to wherever they need to be.
I have a thing I want to do. Can I do a thing?
I'll go for it.
Okay. May I please have the shell and the ring?
The flower ring or
No,
the
the magnifying glass ring.
magnifying glass.
do you
Okay.
trust him?
Well, I do, but then again, I trust everybody.
He's gonna what is it, synthesize the artifacts to make a better item, maybe more bonuses.
I was gonna hold them both for now.
Okay,
See what
go for it.
happens. All right. I'd like to hold the shell near my ear while looking in the direction of, let's say, the bent necked woman there, and I want to attempt to say, "Can we do anything to help you?"
Okay, so okay, this again, I'm gonna
I don't know.
describe
I
it
don't
to
know if
you
this is.
so
I
that it
don't know if
actually
this is
gets
related.
straight. So when you look through the I'm gonna say the looking ring. Okay, you look through the looking
Yeah, let's
ring.
call it.
So as you hold it up, it the bent neck woman is, you can see her like looking around, kind of in a dazed state with her odd look on her face. When you actually get into her line of sight, she turns towards you, and now she's like looking at you. You can tell she's looking at you.
Okay.
You say how we can help you, okay, but there's no reaction.
Can we see what he's seeing? What
Like you,
Savarin is seeing?
so I'm gonna make this a little more explicit. So the number 2, artifact number 2 is a special like viewing ring. If you look through it, you can see things that are not physically there.
I see dead people ring. Come
Yeah.
on.
So, hint, hint, wink, wink. If you know some of your D&D cosmology, what that sort of means there. The mirror is also doing something similar, where if you look in the reflection of the mirror, you get to see something that's not physically there, but you have to have your back toward it. Basically to see it.
Do I hear anything from the shell?
The shell.
They all heard something. Do I hear anything? Oh, well, hello there.
Also, I have a question for a theory. What did you hear? What did it ask you?
on,
She
hold on.
says her. Oh,
She.
hold on. She says her name is Alina.
Oh. Well,
Did you hear something else?
I'm Zavarin. Hello, Brock. Who is your friend? A theory.
Yes,
Your friend is still here.
Brock.
What?
Well,
Oh, is he-
Alina's in number 1.
Hmm.
Brock's in number 3.
You guys are having like conversations that none of us
I
can
have it to
hear or
the, I have
see.
it to
It's
the ear.
scary as
I have it to
hell.
my ear, and I'm just listening.
Oh no.
Spooky as hell. Is this October? What is this?
Almost.
Guys,
October,
everybody
the whole
knows
year round.
October starts on September 1st. Come
Oh
on.
my god.
Are you still there? Where would you like to go?
Oh my god. Like it is. This is like phasmophobia. Ghost. Where are you? How old are
Outside.
you?
Have you spoken to our druid yet? This voice would like to go to the lake. They want to have some fun.
I don't.
I
know
believe that
about
there's a
that.
chance that they just want to be happy.
About
But-
Let's
happy.
let the
I
druid.
think they want to be set
Can I
free.
just casually pass this shell to Gradal, and as I am about to pass it, I say, "Let me pass you off to another friend, really quick." Pass Gradal the shell and see what Gradal
Okay.
hears.
I'll put it to my ear and say, "Can you hear me now?"
How many phone company jokes can we make in one session?
And who precisely are we? Oh, hi, Zaroon. It's very nice to meet you. Somebody named Zaroon, so it's yet another person.
Fascinating.
So you say we. How many are you?
We are legion. Sorry.
Oh, it's just you. Okay. Can you tell me where you are, Zaroon?
This is so cool, but also so creepy.
Oh, I understand. So you're saying that you're here in my hand, but generally a person can't fit into a small object like this. Oh, I know it's magic. Oh, trust me. Been around magic. I'm a druid. If anyone knows magic and has 2 thumbs, it's this guy right here.
Gretel is so cute.
Oh, you want us to go ahead and put you on a necklace and go out?
Mm.
I barely know you. I mean, can't we do coffee first? Something?
I've taught this one well.
You want to go to the Baker's Guild, get yourself a donut, an owl bear claw?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, that's what I'm talking about. You start out with coffee, You start out with like coffee and a donut, and then you move on to things like putting on a necklace and going out for the night. You know, trust me, I'm not one to rush things. I know goblins have a short lifespan, but not one to rush things.
Gretel, can you ask our friend about the flower ring and see if they know anything of this or any of the other artifacts?
Oh yeah, Zaroon, that's something I wanted to ask you about. What do you know about? I found this really cool ring that's got like flowers on it, and it's really really cute. And I'm a huge fan of flowers. Do you know what it is or what it does? Just curious. It's got all these like little ghostly tendrils on it.
I want to know if I can take it.
I don't want to take it. I
D&D
just want to know
question
about
101. Is this loot?
Yeah, exactly.
it.
You guys can take any of these objects. It's up to you. Finders keepers.
All right, I'm gonna hold this looking ring for a moment and see if I can see any movement around Gretel.
Wait,
I
who
really
has number
wanna-
2? Who has artifact number 2?
I do.
Okay, are you
probably
still looking through it?
Yeah sure.
The longer you hold it, the more the figures start to move toward you.
I really want to take a moment to appreciate Daryl's tone when he said, "Oh yeah, you guys can all take it. It's fine. Go ahead and take it." I really like that tone. I wish I could hear more of it, but that was not the tone I received when I asked if I could have the pig.
Noted. I'm gonna casually just put this looking ring down for now.
Did Zaroon have anything to say about the flower ring I mentioned?
Nothing. Zarun said nothing.
Zaroon said nothing.
Nothing about that ring.
I want
Now-
to hand the necklace to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gretel.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to ask Zaroon. So Zaroon, you want to go out of this place? Do you want to go out as in move on from this object and go on to whatever plane of existence you normally would go on to after you're gone, or do you want to stay here in this shell? Oh, that's very, very sweet. That's very, very sweet. I'm already seeing someone though. So sorry to say that. She wants to go for a walk with me. Next, she's gonna tell me that like, well, she's running out of gas or something.
Who are you? Are you? Who are you seeing?
You don't know me. I have a personal life.
Are they best friends?
Ah!
Bry!
Wait, what? You can hear me
We
now?
can hear you. Were
can
you just
hear you.
talking
Yeah.
to yourself? Hold on. Hold on. Were you just talking to yourself the whole time, hoping that we'd eventually hear you?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love
There
it.
you go.
It's very appropriate.
Before I try and do
Right
my
back.
next action or anything, does Ellie over here have any opinions on things to do?
I don't know. I think these are things that we should bury in a hole and never touch and make sure nobody else ever touches.
But that's
my
the thing is
God.
they've already begun to appear in Clark and definitely in Oak Ridge. If we don't do
All right.
something about this soon, these kinds of spirits are going to be out in the world. By the way, I'm gonna put the shell down so that Zaroon doesn't hear any of this crap. I'll put that down. It's like
When
these
he
spirits
puts
are
the
gonna be
shell
out.
down, I'm gonna pick it up. Just
Yeah,
while he's
these
talking.
spirits are gonna be out in the world, causing goodness knows how much trouble. I don't know who this person Zaroon is, but it did not seem like some sort of wayward, tortured spirit looking to be set free. No, I was wrong. These things are not victims. These things are perpetrators. This is not good.
I whisper into the shell. Who am I speaking with? Oh. Hello again, Brock. Can I ask you a question? Who were you? Hmm. Are you here with us right now? Or are you somewhere else? Can you see me?
I like how this whole thing turned into a seance.
We're all sitting in a circle with our hands connected.
No.
But you cannot see me, can you?
So we have the upper hand.
What do you look like? I really feel like I'm playing Phasmophobia right now, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's what I want. Ah, won't we all like to think so? Did you ever walk around the room? Or have you always been within this shell? Beautiful walk with your
I'm
own
here the whole
feet
time.
or with somebody else? Um, mhm. Why so eager? Sorry,
Okay,
I'm trying.
just not to make this so boring for everybody else. Okay, so, Varin is going to continue to have this conversation with himself, and just like you see people with at the beginning when everyone got those Bluetooth headpieces and everybody thought they were crazy. That's the feeling you're getting right now with Zvarn as he has this one-sided conversation.
It's like a mad dragonborn standing over here having a conversation with oneself.
I heard that that's what Dragonborns do. I think it's fine, guys. He's not broken or anything.
Uh, huh.
Have we tried putting the objects in the boxes?
Combine cursed objects with other cursed. I'm sorry. You want to what?
I mean, we don't know what the goop is on the inside. Maybe it'll destroy it.
Now, Brock, I have a question for you. When you spoke with my friend, you identified with another name. Why is this? No reply.
I would put my faith in what Daenerys says. She's like, I think she's holy, right?
Holy.
As a monk. You're holy in something, right?
Uh, uh,
Holy and
sure.
kicking butt. You
Sometimes.
recently spoke to my friends, Brock, and you gave a name that was not Brock to them.
You
That
some
is what
kind of
I'm talking
Sylvia
about.
Curiosity.
Elena?
DM, the voice I heard was female, right?
Yes.
And Svarn, the voice you're hearing is female, correct?
DM?
You're hearing a male voice.
And a theory heard a female voice.
So
In the necklace.
it's
Well,
either
Brock.
different people or it's one person copycatting different.
Okay. So, Brock, you said you knew my friend, but the name my friend heard and the voice my friend heard was not yours. Come on.
Please hold.
What was the name? What was the name that you heard?
I heard
Theory?
Zaroon.
And I heard Alina.
Alina. Oh.
Alina.
Oh, okay. And who are you? Oh my god.
Dagmar's kind of just hanging her head in shame. She's finding out that one of her friends is not, in fact, a holy being, and the other one has a secret relationship that he hasn't told anybody else. And she's kind of like looking over at a theory, like, what could you possibly be hiding? Like, all of you.
I want to hand the necklace to someone else to listen to it. See if they hear the same thing I heard.
I guess I'll take
Here,
it since
Dagmar.
I have
No, hold on,
not
hold on,
done
But
hold on,
Janera,
anything.
yeah.
hold on. Greetings, Nor.
Oh no.
Another person now?
The heck?
Did you speak to one of my friends?
We're not friends yet.
I'm sorry, I'm getting like severe Doctor Who vibes from this. Like one of those like
Real creepy episodes,
like
you know?
Twilight episodes where you're
I'm
just
thinking
like,
of Twilight Zone.
just me.
I don't
Do
know.
you know Brock, Nor?
I have a friend named Nor, makes great onion dip.
Do you make good onion dip, Nor?
Nor, does the name Brock mean anything to you? No? Is that a no? Or is oh wait, typing. Hold on. Silence. Na. What's at the lake?
There might be something at the bottom of the lake that
Wait.
these people are after.
Wait.
My God.
No, 'cause they want to go for a walk at the lake.
Uh,
A beautiful view, oak trees, fishing boats. It's very nice there. I'm sure it is.
Did we find out
What
what
lake
lake
do
this
you want
is?
to go to?
Yeah.
You had me like right on my brainwaves there on that one.
I always do.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was like right on the dime too. Which lake do you want to go to, Nor?
Okay. So all of you are just basically staring at Zvar and having this conversation to himself. Is there anything else any of you else want to do?
Is there any way that like any of us can like lean in together, or is it not like you have to have it like cupped on your ear?
No, you don't have to quite cup it. If you all want to literally put your heads together, you can try to all listen to the shell at the same time.
Does anybody want to do that with me, or are we not close enough yet?
I'll do it. I'll kind of like push him over a bit in the process, but I have a
Nudge
very
me off to the side.
yeah. But I've
I'm
got a
all of
pressing.
3 feet tall and you're 6'6". This ain't gonna happen.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll
Uh,
figure something out. Can we just
now-
bend over or something?
Now, DM, while they're working on that, do I remember any lakes in the geography of the region, or either on the way here or north, south, east of here? Do I remember any particular lakes or bodies of water?
I'm very disappointed in all of you.
Oh, that.
I'm
Oh,
new. Are
heck.
you disappointed in me too?
Oh no.
I'm new. I can't be disappointed in yet.
You don't mean that large body of water where Oak Ridge is kind of crowning, right?
That's a lake.
Oh no.
All right. Well,
They
how many
want
heads
to
do
be
we have leaned in?
taken.
How many heads do we have leaned in here?
I'm in there.
Can we talk as a group now, or is it like
I only want to ask about the dinosaur. If
ask
they
about the dinosaur?
I just just
Introduce yourself first.
okay. Hello. My name is Dagmar.
Okay, I'll be the shell voice now so that the audience can hear as well. Okay.
It's
Hello.
actually Dad Matt.
You're just gonna do regular voice, just hello.
No. He's gonna go with his Baymax voice.
No. So in the other room back there, there's a rather large feathered dinosaur. Do you happen to know anything about that? Okay.
Dinosaur?
All right. Yes,
I'm not a
dinosaur.
dinosaur. My name
Did
is
you
Luke.
not?
Another,
What?
another
What was
one?
it now?
Luke. He said Luke.
I don't believe this was the conversation we were having before.
Okay. Did you have dinosaurs in your time, or are you from an earlier one?
I say present tense.
Okay, I want to pause this just for a moment. I really, really want to make a joke about
Oh.
there not being any dinosaurs and that there are only birds and chickens, and that
Go for
dinosaurs
it.
hadn't evolved
Go
from
for
birds
it.
yet.
I was
Do you have a
wondering if you're.
specified joke, or are you working on it still?
I was really wondering if you're going that direction. Oh my
It's not a
god.
dinosaur. It's a chicken. Come on, guys.
Okay.
We had cars before we had dinosaurs.
Oh,
And
you're
then
referring to the Flintstones
secondly,
documentary.
well, if you don't know anything about that feathered, beautiful beast in the back, my other question would have to be: there's a box in this room with tentacle motifs on it. Do you know anything about that? Are you part of that in any way?
The box?
Box.
Oh, I think I know a box.
Oh my god.
What do you know about the box?
Don't go inside the box.
Did you go inside the box?
No,
Why? Why, Luke? Why?
I'm here, inside your hand.
Why don't go into the box?
I am your personal assistant. How can I help you? Sorry.
Why don't go in the box?
It's not a good thing.
What is
I'd agree. It is not a good thing at all.
Oh, shush. What isn't a good thing about the box? Luke? Hey. Stay with me.
The
Hey.
the box doesn't open from the inside. Don't get trapped.
How would you know about getting trapped inside the box?
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Well, thank you for your candor.
Do you know who made the box?
No, I don't make boxes.
You just make voices, correct?
What if we put the items in the box?
What?
I know. Shut up. Different person.
I don't know.
What if we... So you're in this item. What if we trap you in the box?
Then I'm in the box.
What if
What was
we...
your name again?
Luke?
Oh, my name is Luke.
What
You
if...
know Brock. Persistent. I'm sorry.
What if we broke the items?
I don't think you can break the items.
But what if we tried? Would that kill you?
I don't know.
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from a town next to a lake.
Do you know the name of the town?
Oak Ridge.
How old are you, Luke?
Figures.
No reply. Nothing. Nothing else.
Guys,
Alright.
I'm back into my other voice now. I have two, but I think we should go back to Oak Ridge and ask around because something might have happened there that they've kept from us.
All right.
Maybe
I'm
I
gonna turn to the shell again really briefly and say, have you always been a shell?
I'm not a shell. I'm a person.
What were you gonna say, Grotto?
well, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask the DM if listening to all the different voices, particularly Zaroon, I was on the phone with the most, can I do some sort of insight check to try to discern any kind of malicious intent or
That's a little
or
bit tough because you're
confusion on
really
their
like
part?
just a voice, right? Because usually insight you have to look at facial expression, body language,
Right,
eye
right.
contact.
Assume that
The
is that
vocal
safe to
language,
assume that at the same time
intonation.
that zone of truth wouldn't work on a shell.
Maybe. Do you have Zone of Truth?
I do have zone of truth actually.
Go ahead and roll
Ooh.
insight check, Gretel.
Oh, guidance myself too.
Always guidance yourself. Okay, 14.
Zone of truth doesn't say anything about. It just says. It just says a saving charisma throw. It doesn't. Oh.
It says a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time.
Oh.
It says a
Mm,
creature can't speak a deliberate lie. But I will tell you,
we don't think it's a
the
creature.
voices, like all the voices, seem to be hiding something. They honestly want to leave, but they're definitely hiding something.
They're
Luke,
being
was
really
it?
clever about it.
Are we talking to Luke?
Who do you want to talk to?
What are my
Your
options?
leader.
What are my options?
So far, it's Alina, Nor, Brock, Luke.
Luke, give me someone new.
Hello. I'm
What's your name?
Xander.
Xander. That's a lovely name. Do you know my name?
Thousands.
No, what's your name?
My name's Savarin. Do you happen to know Luke or Brock?
No, who are they?
Oh, just new friends, if you will.
Oh, I like friends. Let's be friends. Let's go for a walk.
And why do you want to
Oh,
go and walk?
Gretel, what was the name of the one you were speaking to? I'm just writing this down slowly.
Zaroon.
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 And then what's the current one?
Introduce
Xander?
yourself and you'll find out.
Xander.
Xander.
Can I, while everybody's crowded around the shell, can I pick up the
Thank you, DM.
magnifying? Can I pick up the magnifying glass and see if any of the ghosts I can see through the magnifying glass are crowding around them or moving toward them? I know that.
So you look through the magnifying glass. The ghosts, like more of the ghosts are sort of crowded around you guys generally, but at the moment you lift up the glass, none of them seem to be looking at you. They all seem to be sort of staring off in different directions. But as you look longer through the magnifying or the looking ring, more of them start to turn and look at you.
Okay, but I wasn't seeing them crowding around or looking at them as they were, because I'm just thinking that if the shell is the auditory component to communicating with these ghosts, maybe this is the visual component. I just want to see if the two match up or whether it's a disconnect, whether it's two completely separate objects with a separate set of ghosts attached to them, or.
I already tried that.
Oh, you already tried that? All right. So they appear to be separate. Yeah, none of the ghosts seem to react to the shell.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, guys.
I'm gonna
Guys,
go ahead and put the
I'm gonna do it.
magnifying glass down. The shell's very, very bright. Something's happening with the shell. It's very bright and swirly. This is bad.
I think we can all put it down.
I'm going to repeat Sarah from last session. How do you know it's evil? Let's use our archaeological
Oh,
hats.
no. No. No
I'm gonna
Sarah
do. I'm gonna do a
simulation.
thing. I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick up this flower ring. I'm just gonna casually look through it real quick.
I didn't see anything when I looked through it before. I just saw the ghostly tendrils around it.
All right. Do I, DM? Do I feel any sort of energy with it in my hand?
So I'll describe the ring. So number 4, very
Yeah.
small tendrils emanate from it and kind of sway slightly. But they're very small. I'm talking about 2 centimeters
Yeah.
to 5 or 2 millimeters to 5 millimeters long. Sorry, that's metric.
Go with metric. I'm fine.
Okay,
We like our metric here.
but they're
You're
very
talking
faint and ghostly.
archaeologist.
As you hold it in your hand, Svarn, you can feel it kind of like the tendrils kind of tickle you. They feel kind of like they're actually touching you.
One thing I do seem to notice is that there are several small points on the shell. I'm going to ask if I can look at the shell for a moment. I'm not going to put it up to my ear, but I want to look much more closely at these several small points that I see on the shell.
So those bright points you saw in the shell, you only were able to see them looking through the looking ring. If you
But
hold the
that's what I
shell,
mean is
yeah.
treat the magnifying glass as a magnifying glass, as if I am, let's say, an archaeologist looking at an object under
Oh,
a magnifying scope. And I'm getting out my eye loop. I'm getting out my eye loop.
Oh,
Use
geez.
whatever you swear.
This spirit
I'm
loop
looking at,
shows us interesting things.
and I'm gonna look at the closer at the small points under the magnifying
Okay.
glass.
It's
Oh.
now called a spirit loop, by the way. We're just gonna keep that.
Oh, I like that.
I like
that
The
a lot.
spirit loop. Okay.
The spirit loop.
Well, yeah. While he's doing that, I'm gonna be disruptive and annoying, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slide the ring on my finger ever so gently.
Good
Oh,
thing he's got a backup character, guys.
Shut up.
oh dear. There's a very small ball of light inside the shell, and as I'm looking into it, I can see what look like a whole bunch of small people inside. They're like little ghosts stacked and packed together. I'm starting to wonder if these are people who are trapped inside, or whether
Clearly.
oh
it's a
this is
Ghostbuster
totally
box.
Doctor Who. I'm wondering if this is the lifeboat.
Stop
What
it.
if this
Stop it.
ancient
Stop it. Do not
civilization
break my heart right now. I do not want this.
what if this was an ancient civilization that tried to survive
No.
by trapping itself
No.
like
No.
like the Fourth Doctor episode Ark in Space?
Yes, we know the episode. Don't do this to me. It's gonna be that mixed with the silence. Let's be real here.
Why couldn't it have just been a face hugger?
Why did it have to be snakes?
Right?
I'm gonna just investigate the ring while it's on my finger, and while it's on my finger, I'm going to ask Gretel for the spirit loop, and if you're willing, I'd like to look through it, holding it with the hand that the ring's on.
Okay, I'll give him both the spirit loop and if he wants it, the shell.
It's
No,
spirit
not
loop
right
in the
now.
shell or spirit?
Just the spirit loop.
Okay, spirit loop. And so what are you doing with the spirit loop, Svarn?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look at the ring on my hand with the spirit loop.
Okay.
Instantly explode. No, let's see.
I'm gonna crawl up like a
Ah.
spider monkey and try to look on Svarn's back and try to look over his shoulder through the loop at the ring.
Can Gretel see to the loop? Oh. Does it come off? If I try to take it off, does it come off?
Okay, since multiple people are looking at it now, So you're looking at the ring, and you look at
Just
it through the
assume I'm
spirit loop.
describing it out loud.
Yeah. It's there seem to be like little plant and root-like structures sort of sprouting out of the ring. And some of the little tendrils look a little like roots, and they're sort of trying to poke into Svaran's skin as the ring is
Is
on his
this
finger.
is this just the ring, or is this the ring through the spirit loop?
This is the ring through the spirit loop.
Okay.
Cool. So not outside of
I-
it.
I'm instantly grabbing the ring and trying to pull it off Zoran's finger. I'm a
Strength check!
druid, and I know that's not good.
Does it come off immediately?
Oh yeah, it comes off. I mean, unless you have
Okay.
fat
Oh.
fingers and it's like really small or something like that, it comes off.
No, they're okay. Mm. Something tells me these items might not link together. That's just me talking. That's nothing I got clued in. Just being clear.
They could if we put them all in the box.
Do you want to put a bundle of cursed items into a cursed item just to see what happens?
2 negatives make a positive.
No. That's not how it works.
Not how
We
any
have
of this
4
works.
requests. We have 4 requests in chat to do it. 4.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Who?
4 requests.
Okay. Well, does that count?
Yeah.
That sounds
All
like I'm
from
gonna
the
die.
DM.
You're more than welcome to try.
It's
Well,
either that or take them for a walk.
We have 3 options. Well, we have more than 3 options, but the 3 options that are prominent are take them for a walk, go talk to the people in town. How far is town?
3 days.
Dazed away.
How many? 3? We can go talk to people in town, or we could just yeet them all into the box and see if it explodes in our face.
well, Hey,
Well, the thing is-
Janera, this was your idea to start with. What do you think? And I'm holding up the mirror, like, over my head. What do you think if I just put this in the box? Janera is a genius, it says in chat, and therefore she has the answers.
hmm She already told us, but yeah.
Okay,
Should we-
but like,
I-
would you like to share with the class?
No.
Don't do it.
Didn't do anything. Hang on. No, I was seeing that if I did an Arcana check, if I could figure out like if I had any knowledge on magical items and whether I would know if this was a good idea or not. But I rolled really low, so
Big move. Can I do the same?
Yeah, everybody go ahead and do an Arcana check. Let's see.
Bet. You're killing me with making me use only digital dice right now.
Hey, look at me knowing a thing or two about the Arcana and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Now, who's-
Where'd you say this Dagman was from? What do you know about Arcana? I also know it.
Okay, actually, the one real
Janera,
quick...
it was your idea, but you rolled low.
I know. That's
Oh,
fine.
okay, Svaran is
I just
actually
don't exist this
proficient
game.
in Arcana.
The needs of the many.
Hold on a second. Dagmar, I don't think you're not proficient in Arcana.
Like you said you do know that I have the proficiency rate.
Yeah. So proficiency, mechanically speaking, proficiency
anything?
allows you to have your proficiency bonus. It means you're better at it, generally speaking. For story
Yeah.
purposes, if you have proficiency, then you actually have like trained knowledge in that.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna give you. Okay, Svarn, would you like me to relay some of that information to you, and then you can describe it, or shall I just say it out loud?
Let's relay it to me first.
All right.
I want to see what we're working with.
Did I miss something?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It seems that anybody can use these objects. Waiting on more. Ah. Okay. It seems that anyone might be able to use these objects, but it also seems that they're not meant to be used by regular individuals. Anybody who uses them other than the ancient civilization may incur some side effects, or potentially not be able to control them.
Hmm.
Which is fascinating, which would lead me to the vote that we do not attempt to control them.
Probably for the best.
So do you still want to put your fancy little mirror inside of the glowing death box?
Well, that's not taking it.
Do you want to combine the items?
Well, I think
Mm.
lots of wizards like to use or collect these kinds of artifacts, and but I don't. I think they use them sparingly. I don't think they use them often, but maybe we can bring them to a wizard or find a wizard in Oakhurst.
Will we be okay if we hold on to them for that long? 3 days.
I don't know.
Question: do we have a bag of holding?
We do not.
No.
We don't have a cheat code with us right now.
Woof. Do.
Well, I think
You
as
have a
long as
lackey.
we don't put them on.
We don't have a lackey anymore.
We do now. We have a new one. We upgraded. we got the Dragonborn package now. Cause remember we upgraded? The plan before was inadequate, so we brought it back to Verizon and we received an upgrade. We got a pack mule upgrade.
Got the family plan.
No weird faulty parts or chicken with this one.
Well, they do seem like wizard objects.
They do, but I think that we need to keep these objects from falling into the wrong hands. If they're designed only to be used by people from this ancient civilization, and we are obviously not of that ancient civilization, then
Yeah.
our mission remains the same. It's to find out a way to either remove the curse from these objects, in which we would try to find a wizard to help us with that, or it is trying to entomb these things up as carefully as possible. But the problem is, looters already know that they're here. Moo's crew knows that
Right.
they're here. It's only a matter of time before Professor Zvidzkaba ends up coming back here.
Oh my god. Hit the mic for that. Oh my god. Nice one.
Yeah, wizards
I-
could be evil, so we don't necessarily need to give them to a wizard.
If I look around the room, I don't do I see anything else particularly notable, or just these 4 items on the floor?
It's just these handful of items.
No defining features of the room, just a small room with 4 items on the floor.
Yeah, basically in the box. Like I said, it's pretty obvious that the room has been fairly well sealed so far, so there's not really dust on the floor. There's not really dust on these objects. So it's hard to tell if there's been any activity. The floor looks fairly well worn, but the walls, the floors are stone. The walls are the same metallic substance as the artifacts in the box. The walls seem fairly untouched. The floor looks worn, like it's been walked on a lot.
So there have been other looters in here before.
Well, you don't know if it's looters or what, but it's just, like this.
Severely worn.
Yeah, well, yeah, this. Actually, if anyone would like to, let me. Okay. If anyone would like to, you can roll an investigation check on the floor.
All right. Does anyone want to do that? And
I'll do that.
or do we all just want to? Can I assist or?
Yeah, sure. If you'd like, tell me. Who are you assisting?
Oh,
What?
Right. I rolled a 24.
Oh, never mind. I guess.
I've done this twice before. I am not going to investigate the floor on this one. And if this comes up with something, I quit.
We've already muncelled the dust.
If-
We did.
You want me
if
to
Varen's
investigate
helping
the
you
floor
with
too?
theory, why don't you just roll again? You
Yes.
never know. You might get a natural 20.
Yeah. Roll again.
Just take
Okay.
the higher of the two rolls.
Yes. Take a second roll.
Oh,
Right.
or whatever the DM.
Well,
Nope,
I'm still. Yeah, I
24
did
was higher.
assist. Wow, still okay. Still impressive here with the rolls. let's give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
investigation's my thing.
well,
So,
let us know
well,
if you
here's what
discover.
the floor looks worn down. But I don't think it's from like people walking across it. I think something not made of flesh has been stomping around, like something metallic.
Oh, okay. Actually, let me.
What?
I need to retcon something. Okay, because I realize now that I messed up.
We give you so much credit for everything you do. One retcon is really not going to discredit you in any way, shape, or
Okay.
form.
So there is there is a substantial layer of dust on the floor, and you would have noticed that when you walked in, but the dust on the floor would not have had footprints. You did not notice any footprints on the floor. The dust is more in the corners, kind of like it's piled up. But you notice the box itself doesn't really have much in terms of dust on it. It's just like there's a lot of dirt on the floor. But as you step on it, you realize that it's stone right underneath it.
Can I take a look at the box again, Daryl, on the thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. I'll put
Because I
forward.
just had a terrifying thought.
Oh no.
God, please no.
No, I thought maybe the box had feet. I was terrified of this thing beginning to get up and walk around and grab people with its tentacles and shove it inside itself.
No, that's gonna be your game.
Why?
That's gonna
Why?
be October.
Hold on. Why would you give him that idea?
I'm not trying to give him ideas. I'm trying to
just
think
gave
of
him
what's
that
going
idea.
on.
Just trying to spare myself for this round.
So does it look like the piles of dust in the corner were because something got pulverized in the corner, or does it look like something swept the dust into the corners?
So, like if you've ever been like in subways or walking along the road and there's a lot of trash, just a lot of traffic through the footpath tends to knock all the trash to the sides and in the corners. That's what it kind of looks like. That there was dirt in here and it's been slowly through whatever means is here been pushed out to the side. So it's kind of all the corners have the dirt sort of piled up in it. And the color of the dirt is the same color as the floor.
Thanks, because you knew that was our next question.
What's the name of it? I can't remember. What's the name of the color code? The Munster?
Oh my
Munzel.
god. Oh my god. I
Soil
thought we
chart.
were training you.
Munsell, Munsell,
There you
I
go.
thought we trained you better than
with
this.
3 different values: hue, value, and chroma.
So are we talking about like a 10YR42 or like a 10YR53?
Or is it because of the blood? Is it more of a reddish, kind of like a 2.5 YR 5.6?
Oh.
I love
So
you
it's a
all
very
so much.
silty, organic thing, and not just a sandy.
For the non-archaeologists in the audience, this is indeed how we communicate with each other on the regular.
Yeah.
I'm currently having a 10YR32 kind of day.
Yeah. Basically, we're asking, is this dust feature soil, like a 5YR 56 or something like that?
Right. I mean, if it's got organics
really
in it like blood,
I
it
really
probably
can't
is.
handle this. Really.
Now
Oh
Daryl's
my
gonna have to
God.
buy the book, and those are expensive.
We'll get
They
'em
Oh
one
are.
for
Lord.
Christmas. We'll get 'em one as a
I
gift.
was a
Be a
complete
GoFundMe.
dumbass at the field school. I left it was one of two Munsell
Oh
books. I
no!
left one of them in my dig kit at the site by mistake. I sent
Oh
students
my
back the next
God.
day to get it. It had been pouring rain the night before, and it
No.
was completely ruined.
Oh
Oh.
shit!
So all
Yeah.
the
Those things
pages
can
were
handle some.
10
Oh, it
YR.
was a rough field season between spending 2 days doing a GPR survey and losing the data because of a malfunction, and then the total station dying halfway through the field school, and then just the rain
Oh.
that we had was just it was a rough summer. I mean, the students learned a lot, but it was a rough summer.
So
Um,
it sounds like there's been a lot of activity in this room.
so
Yeah.
to be sort of
For a locked room.
so
Yeah.
to be sort of
Field
really clear
lock
about
room.
it is the dust on the floor is the same color, same values. Well, okay, so actually, I'm going to say something about the Munsell thing. Um, I haven't been trained in it, but from the description of it, I already know. Um, because being a digital artist, I already know
You would
hue,
know.
saturation, brightness. But the terms are different. I can't remember what the terms were in Munsell.
You're on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at the dirt on the floor, it is the same color. It seems like the floor has been slowly pulverized and then turned into dust, and then the dust is sort of pushed to the corners.
Okay, I'd like to take the spirit loop very briefly, pick it up, and look through it. Are the spirits touching the floor, or do they have levitation casted on this?
I mean, like, um,
How-
okay, so I drew the broken neck woman like floating just to be
no,
creepy,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they're all basically walking, but they're not affecting the floor. It's very
They're
it's
not,
very like a
okay.
classic ghost. They are ghosts walking around, not actually physically interacting with anything.
I'd like to look up at the ceiling to see if there's anything that had been coming down from the ceiling onto the floor.
Or put the spirit loop down, just for the record.
Yeah. I'd like to look up at the ceiling first regularly and then through the spirit loop.
Okay, so when you look up at the ceiling, it just looks like a dark ceiling. Because remember, none of you have like light sources in here, so technically there's no color. Wait a minute. Oh,
Are we standing in a pitch black room right now?
actually, yeah, we are standing in a pitch black room because everybody here has dark vision except for Zvarin. Yeah, Zvarin's the only person who doesn't have dark vision.
I've got the
dark
produce
vision?
I've got the produce flame cantrip, so I can just.
Can you do that? I've been standing in a dark room like an idiot.
With like ghosts.
Do I seriously not have dark vision? I didn't even think of that.
I thought I had it.
Yeah, no.
You
Dragon.
should.
So
You're
humans,
Dragonborn
halflings, and
don't.
dragonborns are the ones that don't have dark vision.
Oh, okay. Eat it, sucker.
And furbolgs also don't have dark vision either.
Wait, who?
Furbolgs.
Furbolgs.
Okay, yeah.
I have a really, really stupid plan, but I'm gonna save it for later in case stuff doesn't work out.
Okay, so Gradal looks up at the sky, at the ceiling, and it just looks like a metallic ceiling, like the walls, dark. There's not much on it. It does have the sort of shaped or the carved shapes in it, like the walls, if you remember from before. When you look at it through the loop,
Oh, this is new. Oh dear. When I look up at the ceiling through, oh dear. When I look up at the ceiling through the Eldritch loop, I see stars the abyss of space and the swirls of an infinite eldritch void.
Well then,
So the room is cursed.
the room might not be cursed. The room might be a cell. Or it could be a housing.
I think that all of this is connected to whatever this type of metal is. I think it's the metal itself that is the source of this. Almost like, I'm speaking out of character right now, but almost like the color from H.P. Lovecraft and the color from space. Like it's an unknowable material that has this weird kind of magical cursed connection to it. As I look through the spirit loop, do I see, when I look down at the floor and at the dust in the piles in the corners, do I see anything there?
I want to make a check, but I don't know if it would be Arcana, History, or Religion about the material. Probably History to see if I'd seen it before.
Oh, God. When I look at the floor, I see into the depths and hollows of the earth, dark crevices and underground rivers.
DM, can I make a History check on the metal?
Yeah, go for it.
And the things that crawl therein. Okay,
Come
I'm
on,
going to go
please.
ahead and pass
Oh,
the spirit on
can
Luke
somebody
to,
else
onto
either
Zavar.
throw a History check or something?
Genera's good at that.
So
Janera, you want to throw a
I
History
mean,
check?
I thought that I had done this before where we had
Try one.
checked for if any of us knew what the
I,
material
I,
type
I
was.
assumed you
happening?
did. That's
What
why I
now?
threw it, because Gradle, do you just want to remember that while you hold the spirit loop, the spirits get closer, and you should be careful how long
I
you
know,
hold
that's
it?
why I was handing it to you.
I would like to briefly look
Hot
around, and then I would
potatoing
like to
it.
put it on the ground.
Put it in the box.
Yeah. Because I'd like somebody else to
Oh
be able
my
to see the
dear half
stars
orc!
at the top.
All right, I rolled
Did
I
you
rolled
get
a
pictures?
history.
Wait, did you get pictures, or did he just tell you? Because if there's pictures, I just looked around and I'd like to see them.
I'll put some pictures in the Discord chat just so that everybody
I was
knows
gonna
what things
say,
look like.
Now, here's another question. As before I give it over to Zvarn, as I'm looking through the spirit loop, do I see anything odd as I'm looking through it at my fellow adventurers?
that's a good question. I didn't think to ask.
Okay,
Ooh.
so I'll be a little more explicit about this. I'm very glad that you're testing it out on everything. What it
You're
seems
doing
to be,
something!
what it seems
But
to be is the spirit loop gives you true sight. So you can actually see when you look at other people, you
Oh,
actually see like into them. Like you can see their bones, you can see their organs, but you can also see like their aura. You see truly into them. It's true sight.
so that's what the magical property of this object is. So it provides true sight, but it's also cursed because then the ghosts start to come towards you.
I'll interpret that. Basically, it gives the ghost true sight as well. They see you if you look at them.
okay. So I'm gonna take that as he passed it to me, and then I'm gonna look around, see everything he saw, and then I'd like to put it down.
Okay, so I'm guessing you guys are gonna take turns or whatever. When you look through it, you
Yeah.
like if you look up, you don't see the ceiling. You actually start to look past the ceiling. You start to look past the atmosphere, and you start to actually see into space because it gives you true sight outward. As you point it down, you can look into the earth, and you can actually see like down into caves. You can see down into crevices. You can see like rivers of lava. You can start to see also the things that are crawling down in there. And as you sort of look around, you can also see the ghosts that are sort of walk through the ruins. You can see other strange creatures kind of floating and swimming about.
Okay, guys. It's possible that there are not only ghosts in this room.
Uh-huh.
I think we're thinking too much on the room. I mean, this specific room might have some extra details about it, or it might be some specialized area. But have you tried looking through the spirit loop? We haven't. No, you guys didn't even look through the spirit loop. Can you open the door for me?
Sure. I go over to the door and I pop the key onto the keyhole.
Can we have the map up for a sec?
Okay.
And DM, do you need me to roll a D100?
If you open it with the key, yes.
2.
Was Bam Bam all the way over there, or did Bam Bam leave us
Bam
at the
Bam's
door?
always been over there. He's just sort of wondering. Okay. Oh wait, Greta, what door did you want to open? The
Don't
one.
mind
Well,
him.
the thing is that I don't know what door Zavarin was talking about. The door we came through, or the door with the keyhole on the other side.
Wait, there was another door?
Yeah. And I show him the key
So
that we
this is a
used.
doorway. This is a doorway.
This is a doorway?
Yeah, there's like
And
a
this is the door you opened.
yeah, there's another doorway there.
So you just opened this one right here.
Yeah. And that
All right.
basically
Since
lets
it's
out to
open-
the entrance into the entrance into the dungeon.
All right. Well, I'm gonna look through the doorway with the spirit loop. Do I see anything?
Okay, so I'm gonna do something first. First of all, Grad Doll, please
Mhm.
roll a d20.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Excuse me?
Oh no.
Sure.
Did we just lose our friend?
Yeah,
Everybody roll a dex save. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god! I just.
Oh dear.
Oh, hold up. I wrote down my notes on here. Now I gotta go find it. Dang it.
My notes to save you all.
What did I write
I
down?
believe I rolled after all the good rolling I've done tonight. I rolled a natural 1 on a
Okay.
regular
What a-
D20 roll.
What a time to do that.
I know.
Okay,
couldn't
no,
have
but this is
been
pretty
like-
good.
like
This is
the-
pretty good. I like this.
What?
Well,
All right. So the door. So you touch the key to the door. There's a spark. The key does a little flash. The door is outlined in a slight light, a glow, and the door opens. However, on the other side of the door is not the lobby. It is not the cave or the ruins or the temple or anything. You peer through the doorway and you see into Oak Ridge. You see people walking about in the streets and and the alleys. You're at street level, basically looking down out of an alley into Oak Ridge.
Okay, I look I look through the spirit loop. Through the door.
So you're looking through the spirit loop, and it looks to be a city. You're seeing people. You sort of peer at their auras, their souls. You do see more sort of ghosts walking about, and you see more of odd creatures sort of floating and swimming through the air. And then there's the outline of the door. You can tell it's magic. It's like a magical portal. And the
I'm
outside
sorry,
other
do
side. Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
oh no, I just do the people look modern? That's my only question.
It looks like It looks like Oak Ridge as it is. I mean, you haven't been there in
Right.
3 days, but it looks like Oak Ridge.
So they're wearing like modern fashions and
Contemporary.
it's
Yep.
what?
I'm going to say contemporary rather than modern. I'm going to be very, very pedantic about it.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm gonna look
Oh,
back to
God.
the room full of the spirits I was seeing in the room before. Are they moving closer
um,
to me?
so, like,
Like, have I been holding this too long? Can I put it down now? what I kind of meant.
So the thing is, like, as you hold it, like, if you're looking at, if you're okay, because your back is to the room. Your back is to the room, so they're not looking at you. But the things that are in Oak Ridge, when they notice you, they start to move toward you.
Yeah, I put that thing down. I
Yeah,
put
when
it
you
down.
turn
I put
around,
it down.
then the things in the room start to look toward you. I
Yep,
want
nope,
you to
down,
sort of
down.
treat this a little bit like Boo, like was it Boo
Yep,
Diddley
nope,
from
nope,
Super
yep,
Mario Brothers,
yep,
right?
yep, nope. I already made that connection, and I'm putting the spirit loop down very swiftly. I played that video game. Okay, so what do we have? We have a shell with multiple people or voices or spirits inside that wants us to go to a lake, but we don't know what the downside of that might be. Maybe we'll die at the lake. We have a looking ring that we're calling the spirit loop, and you can see everything with true sight, but things approach you and we don't know what happens if they get close enough to reach you. We have a mirror, which we have no idea what the downside of it is. And we have a flower ring that seems to try to implant itself in you. Can we just leave these here?
We can. I just would feel. Oh, sorry. We can. I just would feel guilty about other people stumbling upon these things or things like them. I feel bad that we
So,
would leave our quest unfulfilled.
okay, so
You hear
I'm gonna
the
go.
shouts of people bartering and trading. You can hear dishes clinking. You smell the wafts of cooking meat.
Are there any indications that the folks in Oak Ridge can see or hear us?
I was about to say, can I walk over near the doorway? Not necessarily in the doorway, but like right in front. I'll move my piece. Sorry, hold on.
So,
I move about here and I yell through the door. I yell, "Hello?" Does
you
anyone hear me
actually,
respond?
so, um, several people sort of turn to look at you, give you puzzled looks, and then look away.
Odd.
Remember that you're standing in a dark room, right? So they can't tell you're in the ruins. Okay, I'll be explicit that they can see you. You know,
Oh, but
like a
they
bit of
can't
trash,
literally
like
see
blows to
me.
the wind into the room in you. So you are directly connected to Oak Ridge.
So it's a
But for right
portal.
now, you're just a doofus standing in a doorway in a darkened room.
Yeah, no, I
Also,
would act strange about that too.
Also, too, like, let's keep in mind that if we take the artifacts out of the ruins and made our way back to Oak Ridge, which is also, by the way, what the things want us to do, so we're taking them closer to where they want to be.
We don't know
But
if
if
they're good
some
or evil.
right, and then plus, if something happens to us again, like if we run into tick monsters and like if something should happen to us, then those artifacts are not in the ruins anymore. So they're even easier for people to find and grab and take with them. So by taking them out, we are essentially creating a liability for them to easily get out of our hands than would be if we left them here, I feel like.
Is there
Well,
another
but we
door
also
on the
have
other
like,
side of this?
Hold on. What generic?
oh, I was gonna say that we also have no idea where Moo and her group went, and we don't know if they're still here or not.
Right. They could just be waiting for us to leave and then go back in immediately after. That's true.
I mean, there's a dinosaur here.
Yeah, we don't want to leave Bam Bam behind.
We could
That
feed
was
the
my kind of
artifacts
concern.
to Bam Bam.
You want to
Bam Bam
kill the
can't even get in
dinosaur?
the room.
Well, we could take the artifacts out. We could have Bam Bam eat the artifacts, and then how long does the dinosaur digestive system, take place? Maybe we could just fish it out of his coprolates later.
Well, that depends if
We hate
the artifacts
coprolite.
fall into his craw or not, along with his grinding stones. So they may be in there for quite a while.
I
Cursed
give
cocklights.
Can I
I
just
give
say, do you
Dagmar
really
the
want to
same
kill the
look
dinosaur?
that someone's dog gives to them when they do something weird. Just that sort of.
I know that look very well.
You want to feed the potentially cursed items to your friend, or put them in the murder box. And I turn to the rest of the party. Does this one always have such brilliant ideas?
I don't like this mustard colored lizard thing.
Well, she has ideas, which is a start.
Sure.
I think the issue that we have is this is the other thing I was thinking. Think about, and by the way, this is another weird thing we've encountered, Svarn. We've encountered sort of these weird plane shifting Sasquatches.
Excuse me?
There are these giant hairy creatures that seem to be able to teleport from place to place. We saw them walk through a big flashing yellow portal and then disappear. I'm wondering if this is magic similar to that.
And
We saw one
apparent,
here in the
yes,
dungeon.
yes. Then it's the one that left the key behind.
Yeah.
DM,
Yes.
can I go ahead and make a history check to see if I've ever heard anything in my many lengthy travels of this teleportating Sam Squanch here?
Try that again.
A teleporting Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's what I said. In different words.
Okay. All right. So we're supposed to be stopping here in about 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna tell you so we can make this quick. So you have heard of teleporting hairy men. They go by many names: Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, abominable snowman, uh, and there are a lot of stories of them having like glowing eyes or having a very terrible stench, throwing rocks, making noises like banging trees or banging the side of a house. And there are also stories of them teleporting. There would be like an orange light, and they would step into the light or they would step out of the light seemingly out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Often associated with glowing lights and white women. No, white women as in dressed in white.
Oh God, and
I
white
knew
women.
it.
Jeez.
It's
And they
always
leave-
them.
Always
and they
white women.
leave behind fish heads.
Karen.
Ah. Do, do they also enjoy pumpkin spice lattes, or completely unrelated?
A little ball bounces into the
A
room.
what?
A little
From the
ball
town?
bounces into the room.
Oh,
Oops,
DM's always
I can't
pissed
like
with
grab
4
it right.
minutes left.
Doesn't want to grab right. Okay, there we go. Little ball into the room. Um, and then you see a child come in
Oh
to the room.
no.
Sorry, grabs the ball, and then runs up back out to the door into the streets of Oak Ridge.
Cool beans.
We
So
need to
we
close
know
this
we're not
door.
gonna.
We should
Hold on,
close the
hold on.
door.
So we know we're not gonna die if we go through the door. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, and while I'm tempted to return to civilization, I'm also afraid that if we pass through this door, the door is going to remain open on this side, and it's going to be a free for all for anyone who wants to come in here and grab these cursed artifacts.
Let's close the door.
All right.
Close the
Close.
portal.
Unfortunately, to close the door, there's only one way to do it, and I pick up the key and I place it to the keyhole again.
Okay, so there's a bit of a spark and a shine, and the door closes.
No,
Quiet,
no
Lennon.
D100 this time.
No. I
Okay.
mean, I'll just to make it easier again. Like it's when you open it is when you roll it.
And how did you all say you got to the lobby last time?
Through this door.
We walked.
Same method?
Yes.
Or
Eat.
keyhole. It appears to be some sort of wild magic thing.
Have you attempted to tap this key to any other door?
Yes.
And
And we found a room with teeth all over the floor and boxes full of what we assume human remains or humanoid remains.
Big head, 2 feet.
know.
Yes.
interesting.
What if
You
we
guys-
left someone here with everything? You know,
What?
someone like tall and capable and, you know, is comfortable sleeping in boxes.
All I'm hearing is that you've called me capable. Are you warming up to me,
capable to sleep-
half-orc?
No, capable of sleeping in boxes.
How long have we been in the room?
Too long.
I don't know, an hour, 2 hours.
Hour, 2 hours? How much time is what? What do you got? Like
Actually, you know
20
what? Let's
hours
make it
left
real
in your
time
dinosaur?
because I think for the most part it is basically we've been doing this for like not quite 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So yeah, you've been in this room 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
And how long do you have on your dinosaur friendship there? Is it 24?
Bam
least-
Bam, you still
20?
love me?
At least another 14 hours.
Hungry. That's very faint. He sounds like he's in the other room. I'm gonna move him to the
If
lung
we
chamber.
If we wait any longer, this thing is gonna eat us, or we're gonna not be able to get through this door. So, deeper in the cave here.
Well, that's the thing is we seem to have explored pretty much the entire length of this dungeon, and we haven't.
Did
We
you
haven't
find
found-
the dinosaur here.
There's one
Yes, we did.
area that we didn't look at, though. That was the area Dagmar went to when we first got here. But we followed Moo and her crew.
Is there a way to get the dinosaur out?
No, he's fine.
Um.
You just want to leave him here?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just to make sure that so at this point this is going to be early evening at this point. So sun is gonna set at maybe in another hour.
Can we try and tap the key against the door again, or do you not want to do that?
If you're more than well, if you want to take it, by all means, and I'll hand him the key.
God, why? What happens if I do it?
Now we're gonna find out.
That's when you
Alright.
use your new character.
What are you rolling?
New character, who dis?
What am I rolling?
D100.
All right. I'm gonna try and tap the key to the door, regretfully.
Okay, roll a D100. That's a percentile die.
I just clicked on the 100 button.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, that's
okay.
not good.
Okay. So the door flashes. Opens up. Opens up for you. And the
giant.
you see
Cthulhu
the
tentacle come through.
entrance to the area.
Oh. Interesting. So, does it have anything to do with this
Bum,
room?
bada bum, bada bum, bum,
All right,
bum, bada
let's-
bum, bada bum, bada bum, 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 bada bum, bada bum,
Are
bada
we-
bum, 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 bada bum.
Dagmar's about ready to just like book it out of there.
It's a
Does-
creepy ass room filled with creepy ass objects. I believe the answer to that would be yes.
Okay, is everyone good with leaving? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, and I touch the key to the door.
I have the key. I can
Or
touch the key
yeah,
to
you have the
door.
key.
Yeah, I'll touch the key to the door.
Okay, so now are you taking the artifacts with you?
Oh no, God
Hell
no.
no.
No, they are very much staying where they are. I
You
had a,
want to put them in the box?
well, I had a dumb technique that I wanted to try, but I just feel like it's going to backfire on all of us very quickly, and I don't want to kill the whole party on my first night here.
What was it?
I was going to use my breath weapon on all of the items,
You can do it.
but I have to open the door
Mm.
again to do that. If
Nah.
everyone's okay with me doing that, I'll be
Mm.
happy.
Well,
Mhm.
if the DM wants to retcon it to the fact that we never haven't closed the door yet,
Well,
and can
I'll
pop back
just make it
in.
simple. All right, like let's just say you use the breath weapon, nothing happens.
Okay.
That's okay. So they're invincible. All right, let's
Yeah.
definitely leave them here. My breath
Yeah.
weapon is lightning, by the way. It's not fire.
Did we just put them on the ground or in the box or
We left them where they were.
in C2?
And
We did.
that's
Do we
I
want to
mean,
go
sure,
back
after we
in
moved them all.
now, Dagmar? Important question for you.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you want? We're currently heading away from the entrance. Do we want to go back in and get Bam Bam?
Can we scream for him and see if he comes? Does he know how to get out? How far is it?
It's pretty far. It's like really far.
Does this the DM? Does this echo when I yell something?
I mean you're a little bit. You're at the edge of a cave, but it's fairly open. It doesn't really echo that much where you are.
Okay.
Well,
is
actually,
there
you're a
any
bit of
way-
a canyon, so there's a bit of an echo.
Okay, so is there any way to roll? Can I roll a d20 to see if Bam Bam can hear me?
Uh, I mean, I guess.
He's like, no, but you keep asking, so sure.
So you
Oh
yell.
my god. Guys, we have an and gunner in chat. Just so you know. Does anyone want to say hi to our and gunner?
There's a very faint hungry off in the distance.
Okay. Do we want to get Bam Bam?
No, I don't I feel
There's a
like
chance that when the time runs out, he will try to eat us. And trust me, you do not want that.
exactly my charms didn't work on him. So,
What charms?
hey, you're new here. Around these parts, I'm known as a pretty charming person.
Can anybody here confirm that?
Please. Please, I'm really charming. Guys, I got like +4
I hear
charm.
crickets.
Guys.
I hear
Guys.
crickets. No
Guys,
one.
please.
All right.
Chimera?
That's a negative, Captain, according to Ann Gunner. Gretel, are you fine leaving your new friend, the dinosaur, Bam Bam, or would you like us to retrieve Bam Bam and potentially get eaten later?
I'm fine with leaving Bam Bam. I was just
Yeah.
concerned about how Dagmar felt about it.
Aw.
We are going to have an angry
I-
dinosaur guarding this cave now.
Yeah, that works.
I think that Bam Bam has enough rats to feed him in there.
Bam
And
Bam can protect the artifacts.
exactly. He can
Beat
yeah,
the looters.
exactly. One part he can at least defend that one other side of the room, but I think he's necessary to stay. And he's not compact. And I'm all about that convenience now. And I would
Does
like
the
a
druid-
compact battle pet.
Does the druid have enlarge reduce?
Maybe. I'm not sure. You have to check.
Druid, do you have enlarge reduce?
Actually a good question.
Gretel.
Do I have the what?
Enlarge reduce.
I do not.
Oh, that's a bummer. We could have had a pocket-sized Bam Bam.
That is a bummer.
All right, then let's leave if everyone's good with that.
It's a perfect place to end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the party ends having left the artifacts in C2, as is appropriate for
I love it.
for long-term research purposes.
Or further looting later.
Yeah.
Protected by dinosaur.
I mean, for as long as the dinosaur sticks around.
Dinosaur.
And with that, we're going to end this session of Goblin Town. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for putting up with my ghost stories. Everybody, have a good night. Sleep tight.
Don't let the hanged bent lady get you in the night?
Or the skeletal ghost figure.